So let's move from this rather controlled scene to this uncontrolled scene. So as we've been reporting throughout the day, we've got dozens and dozens of protesters who've been arrested around the city. Windows broken, storefronts attacked.
Just joining now, this is a limousine that earlier just being stomped on and had the windows kicked out. Now someone has lit it on fire and it has really started burning. Really thick smoke here, people all around.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Okay, we're gonna go away. Is this gas tank because it's on fire? It's really bad.
You're hearing there our reporter Charlie James, who's out there in the field, who's been talking to some of the protesters there. And what you saw was, as she was reporting, apparently a limousine. The windows had been kicked in, it had been set on fire, and had really sort of taken off there.
And as soon as they've gotten to a safe area, we'll let you know. Hopefully we'll be able to go back to that. Maybe we can go back to the parade or the pre-parade procession from the Capitol back to the White House viewing stand. But it's quite a dramatic contrast here. You've got this stately procession from the Capitol to the White House, the new president being cheered. Some protesters along the way, but nothing too out of hand. Meanwhile, right there in the same small city, because D.C. is not a large town, you've got fires burning and windows being broken and people being arrested, tear gas being fired. A fiery beginning to the presidency of Donald J. Trump.
And we should note there were protesters along this procession as well who were peacefully protesting. They stood with their signs. Maybe we couldn't hear on the audio. It looked as if they were yelling as well, but no damage, no destruction, no unlawful behavior there. So really the full spectrum of protests today on the streets of D.C.
They were certainly within their First Amendment rights. And this is just the beginning. Tomorrow it's estimated that several 100,000 people will show up for the Women's March. So it's possible that this is a president who will be dealing with a lot of protests throughout his tenure. We shall see.
They are under the command of Chief Matthew Veradosa. Ladies and gentlemen, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. The members are Chairman Senator Roy Blunt, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, Senator Charles E. Schumer, Speaker of the House, Paul G. Ryan.
You really get a sense of the manpower of the Secret Service on a day like this.
Emphasis on man.
Yes, it is heavily male, no question about it.
And did you guys see they have their Secret Service names as well? Those were made public.
I saw that.
And
President Trump is,
Mogul.
they all went with M. So he is Mogul. Mrs. Trump is Muse.
Yes, and Ivanka is Marvel.
Like a superhero.
Muse, like the band.
Muse.
I was like his muse.
Who inspires
Like his
them.
muse, yeah.
Like his muse.
Yeah. Don Jr. is Mountaineer, I think. Yes.
course.
Seems like a mouthful, but Mountaineer.
Do you know what President Obama was?
No. What was
Renegade.
he was.
Renegade.
What were the girls? What was that?
Let's look that up. My memory's not.
I think one was Radiance or something. No.
Well, I saw a lot of Palooza pictures. I would have thought one of those would have been Renegade.
Renegade, dangerously close to Sarah Palin, going rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Started by first John McCain, though. She borrowed it
true.
from him.
Let's go back to some
Where is
shots
Sarah
now.
Palin, by the way?
of,
We haven't seen her.
Sarah Palin did tweet, I
She
believe.
did campaign for Donald Trump a little bit.
No, but I
and I
mean
believe
today.
she tweeted
Oh.
today. There's the fire department putting out that limousine that was
good.
on fire.
good.
So, and our crew appears to be safe, but nonetheless, not
I have
what
to
you
say
want to
that's
see.
very emotional and upsetting to see, at least it is for me. And you have to remember Washington, D.C. is also a city that's suffered a terrorist attack. So to be setting fires and causing that kind of disruption and violence certainly does not sit well, I wouldn't think, with most Americans.
I'm sure not, but what a powerful image there with those two pictures side by side. This is the American electorate that President Trump will now be serving. So it'll be interesting to see how he chooses to handle this, whether he tweets about the protesters, especially tomorrow, if he chooses to acknowledge it or to make any kind of conciliatory gesture in the days that follow to the many people who are going to be showing up tomorrow to protest his presidency.
He may. You remember he tweeted that he thought that flag burning should be made illegal.
Yes.
So he might have some opinions that we read about in
Not just
140
illegal.
characters.
He's not just illegal, but one of the options was to actually have the flag burner lose their citizenship.